Good morning everyone. Thank you for the positive response for my top 3 IB advice video. Today I thought I'll count down the most underrated IB resources as they're literally available at our fingertips, but not everyone takes advantage of this. I can say from my first-hand experience that having the right resources was just as significant as the hours and hours of studying. Understanding how to utilise these resources allowed me to study smarter, so let's get started. Number 5, YouTube. Australian of the Year Eddie Wu, for example, made full use of YouTube as a platform to share content and to inspire the next generation of mathematicians. It's people like him or Quan who have revolutionised learning by making it free and accessible to all. We're lucky to have so many IB educators who have devoted their own time to help your learning. There are a number of outstanding IB channels that have truly made a difference in my journey, and I can go through more details subject-wise in a future video, but for now, just don't count out YouTube as a valuable learning tool, particularly if you're a visual learner. Number 4, subject guides. Every subject you do should have a so-called subject guide, which is a publication intended to guide the planning, teaching and assessment for educators across the globe to deliver the course to an appropriate standard. The subject guide is usually a massive official document that covers everything you need to know about the subject. It explains the nature of the subject, the aim of the course, includes the syllabus, and most importantly, it clarifies the assessments that you will undertake. I would recommend that this is the first thing that you read before you even begin your IB subject, and that you continually refer back to it through the 2 years, since it's always helpful to know what you're studying, as well as how and why you're assessed in a particular way. Number 3, syllabus. Alright, perhaps this isn't so underrated since everyone tells you to use the syllabus. It's so cliche, yet you'll be surprised that people just aren't accountable enough to stick to it. The syllabus essentially outlines everything that you need to know. If you know it and understand every single point on it, nothing in the exam should surprise you. My economics teacher referred to it as a giant cheat sheet, which cannot be true. I printed a copy of the syllabus and always based my notes on each point. And for exam revision, I made sure that I knew every single point over and over again. And I think the syllabus is most helpful for subjects like math and science, although it also greatly dictated my economics notes. Number 2, Teacher Support Material, TSM. This is a material given to teachers that provides guidance for their marking. It's based on past students' sample work in their IAs or works in translations, for example, and it shows exactly where they have lost or gained marks based on the assessment rubric. Using it can help you identify and contextualise the rubric and help you truly understand how to earn the high marks. And since it's an official document, what a great way to draw inspiration from it as well. And now number 1, what I think is the most underrated IB resource is the subject reports. This is honestly the best resource and the one that 95% of the people either just aren't aware of or just don't use it enough. There will come a time in IB when you should be grinding out numerous sets of past papers and hopefully you're marking it using the official mark scheme. But I think if you can use the subject report afterwards, which is very different to the subject guide, this is going to actually really help your revision. The subject report is essentially compiled by the senior examiners after an examination session and presents the grade boundaries and an in-depth look at how all the session performed. For example, it compares their exam to past papers and shows where candidates performed well or not so well. It literally evaluates every single question with statistics, common mistakes and notes to watch out for. It also provides explanations on marking and what constitutes full or partial credit. I found that tips and advice from the examiners themselves proved invaluable. So many times they pinpointed exactly where I made my mistake, because it happened that thousands around the world were also tricked by the question, just like me. It definitely helped my self-esteem reading that, and yeah, reading subject reports after past papers just sped up my understanding of the exams and its many pitfalls. So there you have it. So now the question really is, where do you actually find these resources? YouTube is self-explanatory, but all the other ones are just available on the IB resource repository. You can see the link in my caption. So get onto these valuable resources now, and if there are any other questions about this or any other IB content, feel free to comment below. Thank you.